Hey, welcome into the Mighty 1090 Studios. I'm Andrew Bureau, and I'm joined by Matt Reno and Sandy Lemcooler. Matt's the president and founder of Reno Contracting. Sandy is also the president and founder of the Warrior Foundation. Guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about a partnership that you set up. But Matt, let's first begin with what is Reno Contracting? Why are you guys so important here in San Diego?
Well, we're a locally owned contractor. I started the company in 1993 with little money and lots of friends and few customers, and today we're doing well in excess of 200 million in volume, and we're one of the largest locally owned contractors here in town. And we are an employee-owned company. The employees own about half the company. I own the other half. So we're very proud of what we've done here in San Diego.
And Sandy, can you tell us a little bit more about the Warrior Foundation?
The Warrior Foundation was created live on the air on a radio station when we found out at Christmas time back in 2004 that our Warriors had some special requirements that they needed for Christmas. And from that time, we started out, raised about $68,000 the first day initially.
Wow.
We've raised about $14 million, and every penny goes to our guys. We have no salaries, so there's a real distinction there between other foundations and us, and that we are local, we are San Diego, but yet we do have tentacles that reach out across the whole country at this time, 14 years later. So basically we work with 4 different groups of warriors, those that are just coming home or are hurt in injury, in an accident somewhere in training. So we work with those that are ill and injured, those that are just coming to Balboa Naval Hospital, and a lot of times the government doesn't move fast enough, and we fly their family members here and make sure that they have everything they need, hotels, cars, food, to just get their warrior back up on their feet. We work with the guys that have PTSD. We provide the hospital with, at the beginning of the war, it was Palm Pilots, okay?
Right.
And new TVs that had the DVD. Well, now that we provide iPads up at the hospital, and they're given to the warriors that meet their specific needs and help with their injuries. The third group are the guys that live up at the barracks, so they're not in a hospital bed anymore, but they definitely need to be in a barracks area where they can go to therapies 3 times a day and do their military obligations. And those guys are probably the most near and dear to Matt and I's hearts because they're there for so long. And we send them home for Christmas. And one year, we didn't quite raise enough money, and Matt made sure that all of our warriors went home for Christmas. And the fourth group are the guys that once they determined, the warrior or the government determines that they're not going to be able to stay in the military anymore, that's a pretty tough day for our guys.
Yeah.
And so we move them into a place called Freedom Station. And our volunteers are uniquely qualified. They're not paid. We're a 501c3, and those volunteers do everything they can to make sure that those guys are going to be just fine when they transition back into the San Diego community.
That's awesome. That's really amazing. So can you guys tell me a little bit more too about why the partnership with you, between the two of you, is important, and how did that come to fruition?
Yeah, I think Sandy just called me out of the blue in 2004. I heard something about the radio. I called Sandy. I don't remember how quite our initial, but I went to Naval Hospital, and never been in Naval Hospital, and saw all the young warriors that had just come back from overseas, and they were missing eyes and limbs and legs, and or severely disfigured, and it really struck a chord with me, and to a man, they were all very upbeat, and they all wanted to get back to their unit, which I thought was really remarkable. Here's somebody that's just been severely injured, and I was very touched by the whole situation. So I started getting involved with the Warrior Foundation in 2004, and it's been a wonderful. I think as a businessman, and I've achieved some level of success, that you need to give back to the community, and I like to give back to the community and really pick a charity. There's thousands of charities, but pick a charity where you can really make a difference. And I feel like Reno Contracting has made a difference with the Warrior Foundation. I think we've had a real positive impact on that.
And you guys seem to have, through various fundraisers and things that you've set up with the Padres and their home runs that they've hit this year, golf tournaments, things like that. Sandy, can you speak to that?
Well, I have to share with you, Matt. Matt finds ways, and 1090 was one of those avenues. And you know, the Padres are great hitting season this year, and so for every home run that the Padres hit, win or lose, Matt has made sure that Warrior Foundation gets some of the proceeds for that hit. And I'm telling you, our Warriors go to the games, and we have some tickets that we get given, and we send the guys. And they're like, wow, what if they lose? I said, look, we don't care if they win or lose. We just want those home runs. You just tell them to hit those home runs. And so our guys enjoy going to a game, because anytime there's competition, a Marine's going to get into the competition. So it has been a wonderful season for home runs, and we've been very blessed with Matt assisting us through 1090.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, I guess, too, a little bit more about the Freedom Station and why, you know, what is important about that component of what you guys do.
Well, that component is very important. Our Warriors really still need the camaraderie of being together. So if you are missing an arm or a leg, it's important to be able to walk out the front door and have neighbors that understand what you've gone through. And I used to have one Warrior that would come to me in the morning and say, you want a cup of coffee? Let's go across the street to Starbucks. And I'd say, I got coffee right here. No, let's go to Starbucks. It wasn't about the coffee at all. It was about being out in public and having someone next to him so that he didn't feel like he was being stared at. And now that gentleman has his own business now. He's married. He has 2 children. And giving them that 9 months or 2 years or 4 years to adjust back to being a civilian, a Mr. or a Mrs., and detune, I think is what has made all the difference in the world for the PTSD that the rest of the country is kind of dealing with. Yeah. I think we've had a lot of great success stories at Freedom Station, and I think, you know, I think that we should make a couple more of these locations. They have to be close to the hospital. They have to follow the philosophy that we've kind of developed for these Warriors. But I think we could make a major impact in how our Warriors are doing successfully going back onto the jobs.
Well, it certainly seems like you guys also play a really, really pivotal role in that adjustment coming back from war. And
they do.
And you know, obviously we appreciate to the nth degree what our servicemen and women do for this country. What else about the golf tournaments? I know you guys have done some of that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, we have had, how many years have we done? 11
yeah.
years in a row. We've held a golf tournament. Last few years it's been at the Rancho Bernardo Inn. And we have all the subcontractors and architects and customers come and we have whole sponsors, and they pay for their, you know, their green fees, and we have raffle prizes and all that. And I don't know, last year we raised $38,000.
Wow.
So every year it's kind of in that range, and it's that's the kind of impact that I want to have on the Warrior Fund. It's a wonderful organization.
And
The fact that they're all of the money that you raise for this organization goes to the Warriors, and there's no other organization like that. And I just think that's a testament to Sandy and her staff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm never going to look a mother in the eye, and I tear up when I say it, and say to her, gosh, I can't afford to fly you or your family here to be with your son while he's going through this critical time in his life, or woman, because I need a salary. You know, I've been very blessed. My husband's military, my daughters are both serving, and so I thought, I'm not sitting home during this war with the dogs. I'm going to go make a difference and an impact. So they were going off to war. So, you know, be careful what you ask for. I started out to do one thing, and now we've got Freedom Station, and I think it truly does make a difference. I think going golfing for a day, getting out of the barracks, focusing on one thing, but most important, his contractors, many of them, of course, were military. And it's important for our Warriors to meet other men and women who have moved on in their life and have that second career, and they see what's possible. And so we have a warrior who's a left arm amputee. I wouldn't golf against him. He's got about a handicap of 8 now.
Yeah, he's very
I mean,
Wow.
he's very
he plays
good.
in our golf tournament. Yeah, he's
Right,
very good,
and he's
yeah.
trying to go with the Paralympics as well. So, but having that first couple of golf events with him being and meeting other people and realizing, yeah, I was a prisoner of war, or I was injured in Vietnam, or it lets them know that there is longevity of life and that they need to move on. And I think it's important for these warriors to understand you have to move on. You can't dwell in the past. You can't move into the future if you're dragging that past with you. And that's what the contractors are able to kind of explain to the guys when they're out there on the green.
And they're not alone. They're
Yeah.
not alone.
Well, I mean,
they
it's
support.
obviously a very difficult adjustment, but it sounds like with what you guys are doing, you're helping to ease that and make it, as easy as possible, which is very important. So how can people find out more information about the Warrior Foundation and Freedom Station?
Get the checkbook out. Get the
Where
checkbook
can they go
out.
to donate?
warriorfoundation.org.
Okay.
And there's a big donate button right there on the right-hand side. But more important, take a look at our website. I want everyone to know that there's been some things happen in the country that made it difficult for charities, every kind of charity, to receive help. And I think that we're good stewards with our donors' money.
Awesome, awesome. Well, hey, we appreciate you guys coming in and talking today. Matt and Sandy, you can always find out more information at warriorfoundation.org. And make sure you guys check out the website and go and donate. Thank you guys.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
thank
much.
you very much.